Hello, guys, and welcome to Cricket Caviar. It's the one final that we are going to love as neutrals. It's South Africa versus Australia at Lords. And first time the WTC final is being played at Lords after the initial plan that all the finals will happen at Lords. It's finally happening in Lords. And the best thing is both these teams actually love Lords.
Yeah,
So South Africa, Australia always go hard at Lords. They win most of the test matches at Lords in Ashes. But South Africa also did win their last test match in Lords, after which some selection blunders led to them losing to bass bowlers. But before we start about Australia, Pratik, I want to talk a bit about South Africa. See what is happening in this year, 2025. We have Crystal Palace, which is an English football club, who just won a trophy after 119 years of their existence. Then we have an Italian club called Bologna, who won after 51 years. Then we had Harry Kane, who in his 20 years of career could not win a single trophy, but won a trophy this time. We have Tottenham Hotspurs, for whom Harry Kane used to play. They actually won a trophy this time. We have Paris Saint Germain, who actually won a football trophy. I mean, they won the UEFA Champions League after getting beaten in the semi-finals and final stage a lot of times. Then finally, we have the Royal Challengers Bangalore, who we thought had the eternal curse of never winning an IPL,
most loved team in
and
IPL.
finally winning an IPL. So the stars could not be more aligned for South Africa to finally break their jinx of an ICC trophy. And they must be inspired from New Zealand. They must be inspired from New Zealand because New Zealand broke their jinx with a WTC. And
Yeah,
I was just reading an article, an interview by Mark Boucher, who's the coach of South African cricket team. He said exactly the same thing, that the choker stack does not apply to Test cricket because Test match is played over a longer period of time, and
mm,
there are less elements of luck. I actually love this WTC. I wish
yeah,
it was every 3 years or 4 years, but so that it gives more 3 match, 4 match test series. But
mm,
this is brilliant. So now I'm totally looking forward to this WTC final. South Africa has a totally new team, a total team of youngsters. Lot of people have retired, lot of old guns have retired. So this is not a team that is carrying the tag of a choker, and they don't have many of their white ball players, like David Miller, who actually choke at the big stages, or Heinrich Klassen.
yeah.
So this is a totally new team, and I guess except for Aiden Markram, who has been there in many of the tournaments, I don't think there is anyone who's carrying that baggage. Quinton de Kock has retired, so
Mm.
we saw so many retirements. So I have a lot of hope with this South African team. But again, man, Australia, they are like bulldozers. They don't care about your reputation. They have their own reputation. Their bowling attack has 1,500 wickets, and
Wow.
all the bowlers have above 250 plus test wickets. And finally, there is Josh Hazelwood, who has never lost a final in his life, whether be it franchise cricket or international cricket. He just never lost a
So
final.
that was the secret to
So
RCB.
yeah, so he is a guy who never lost a final. So I think it's going to be brilliant. Although I would have liked to play Scott Boland, to see Scott Boland play, but I guess he did his part in the last WTC championship, and this time it's time
Winning,
for
yeah.
Hazelwood. So yeah, man, very excited. And I was just seeing Steve Smith bat, Pratik. He said that I've just picked up a bat for the
Yeah,
first time since Champions Trophy. Since he got bowled to Mohammad Shami on a full toss, this is the first time he picked a bat, and maybe the hunger will be inspire
yeah.
him to another WTC championship. Yeah,
Shikhar, excellent. Yeah, very good segue to into our discussion. But like you said, Australia, I think you're still missing the point that Australia is favorites for this because even the great AB de
yeah,
Villiers is saying, "I'm backing South Africa to do an upset." So even he used the
mm,
word upset while he is favoring South Africa. So we cannot forget and cannot discount the fact that Australia are walking in as favorites. But you're absolutely right.
mm,
South African team should come up with confidence. They played brilliantly in
mm,
this World Test Championship cycle. Although some
mm,
might argue it's only 12 matches, again, but that's not South Africa's fault if they get less number of matches. They have
mm,
beaten the teams by series in this cycle, and
yeah,
I think they only lost one series, that which was again their A team, B team went to New Zealand. That was
E team, D team, E team,
yeah.
F team, whatever you can call it. Yeah,
But
Z team. I call it the Z team. But you're right, Pratik, because many in our group also, I remember a discussion which we were having around 2 or 3 months back.
yeah,
So many were saying, especially Karthik was saying that WTC is not a great format and South Africa should not have been in the finals. And even Michael Vaughan was actually questioning the same, that
mm,
they escaped because they did not play Australia and England in a
yeah,
home or away series.
uh,
But you can only play what is in front of you
yeah,
and whatever the fixtures have decided. This is not the only ICC tournament that has a flaw. We saw that India got all its matches in Dubai in the
yeah,
Champions Trophy. We see that India and Pakistan are always drawn in the same group in all the ICC tournaments, which
mm,
basically gives India an easy match. So I don't think this is the only ICC tournament that has a flaw. Yes, there are flaws.
yeah,
South Africa played 12 tests. Australia and England played 22 tests or something.
yeah,
Yes, that is wrong. But again, as a South African, I will be proud, and the nation should back South Africa
mm,
that their team has qualified for the final. And it's a
yeah.
well deserved achievement for legends
And they
like
actually
Kagiso
qualified
Rabada.
before India and Australia. Let's not forget that they were the first one to qualify.
Yeah, absolutely. They beat Pakistan, they beat Sri Lanka, they beat Bangladesh away from home. The same
Yeah,
Bangladesh who beat, uh, you know,
In Pakistan.
Pakistan, and
Yeah,
they had a very close test match in West Indies, which
mm,
they could have lost, but Temba Bavuma took a spectacular catch to dismiss. I don't remember the batsman, but I
yeah.
think it was Gutakesh Moti.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
so
Yeah.
they totally deserve to be here. We have new upcoming stars like David Bedingham, Tristan Stubbs, uh, Ryan Rickelton. This is an entirely new team, and in the bowling attack also you have Marco Jansen this time. You have, along with Kagiso Rabada, you have some new bowling stars
Yeah.
uh,
Dane
who are
Patterson.
going.
Dane Patterson is that guy.
Dane Patterson,
Magical
wow
against
man,
Sri Lanka. Yeah.
he's been
So
amazing.
we will be
So
looking
I
at the
was,
squad also in few minutes. But
yeah.
and I think another thing that will help South Africa, Shikhar, is they're not complacent like India was. India was complacent
Mm,
when even they were going to face New Zealand or Australia. But I always told it
mm,
in the conditions it will be difficult for India to win in England against these sides.
mm,
But South Africa is not complacent. They are aware how strong Australia is, and they just want to go out
mm,
there and give their best. I think that's what I'm seeing. And
mm,
now I want to talk about this guy Shukri Conrad Shikhar. I don't know much about him.
mm,
I researched about him today morning,
mm,
but his name is coming up the most. Whenever last 1 month I have seen any news about World Test Championship, the name
mm,
Shukri came up in my timeline.
mm.
So tell me more about this guy if you know about. Otherwise, I'll share some pointers.
No, he's the coach of South Africa, and he's taken up recently, and he's been blamed for some early retirements. Like, yeah, recently he was in controversy because we saw the most disappointing retirement of Heinrich Klaassen from
Hmm.
white ball team, and we saw Quinton de Kock retiring early, and a lot of these players are saying that we want to spend time with the family, but we don't know what is the real reason. And obviously there has been some politics at the back room at South Africa cricket, since we saw that Quinton de Kock was dropped after he didn't bend the knee for that racism
Yeah.
uh, thing. And since then there is something that is going wrong with South Africa, but despite all the odds, just remember how this WTC started for South Africa. They actually had a series, home series versus India, where their entire bowling was missing, and Dean Elgar announced retirement in that same
Hmm.
series. Okay, and Dean Elgar was the pillar of the South African cricket team who was carrying them, and he retired in the first series of WTC, saying that I am not interested to play for South Africa anymore,
Yeah.
because he knew that a C team is going to play in New Zealand, and he had no hopes of this team to qualify for the finals. Similarly, their bowling attack was totally injured. We had Nandre Berger and Gerald Coetzee, who actually played in that series. Uh,
Hmm.
and they are not anywhere near the squad right now.
Yeah.
They're not even in the WTC squad. So things have been changing too frequently for South Africa. They are yet to get that stability. And
No, but I think you're
only thing
going too much into the past. Actually, you should look into the last
Mm.
1 year when white and black players are playing together. Now both have want to represent South Africa, and that's what I have heard positively about Shukri, that he has changed, pairing up with Ashwell Prince, also a famous batter and also someone who's known to have very good leadership and management skills. So that's the part I was wanted to wanted to focus
Yeah,
on. But yeah, there is no doubt that South African
yeah,
cricket has struggled in the last 5 7 years. But in the last 1 year, we are
Mm.
again seeing some positivity around the
yeah.
team. And
Yeah, I mean, it's good actually. Mark Boucher is also part of South
yeah,
Africa
and
management.
they arranged a match against Zimbabwe. Do you know this? They arranged a match on June 3 against Zimbabwe for the practice of this. While Australia did
Hmm.
not arrange for any practice matches, they did arrange for one.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, it was a rain curtailed match, and only one inning could happen, in which
Hmm.
South Africa batted first, scored 313, and then Zimbabwe could
Hmm.
only face 11 overs, and then the match got washed out.
Hmm.
But in that game, we saw
Hmm.
Rickelton made a 50, Tristan Stubbs, and
Hmm.
so yeah, and Bavuma. So three of those guys. So they got some batting practice also. So again, Shukri is trying
Hmm.
a lot of things. In fact, tomorrow he has invited Mr. Stuart Broad to come to the nets,
Yeah.
motivate the bowlers, and I think that is going to be huge because Stuart Broad, as we know, is an Australian slayer. He has got the most wickets against Australia, 153 Test wickets, and I'm really
Hmm.
excited how this guy Shukri is able to do these things. And it's said that Stuart Broad is coming for
Hmm.
free. He's coming as a consultant
Hmm.
tomorrow to spend the time with the team for free because Shukri and Ashwell
Hmm.
Prince communicated so well and invited him.
Yeah, it's like the enemy of your enemy is your friend. So,
Maybe
of course,
Broad wanted to do this for free. That excites him.
yeah, I mean, it's a good move. Actually, Broad knows a lot about the Australian batsmen. He's bowled, played a lot of cricket, especially the last Ashes. I think it was Broad's last series, and he was just phenomenal. And he ended up tying that series, drawing that series 2-2. Uh, Phenomenal effort from him, even in his last Test match. So I think he will give some ideas to South African bowlers, but I think ultimately Rabada is too experienced a bowler to
Yeah,
rely on any bowling coach or anything. He
correct.
has played. So I was just seeing some stats actually, Pratik, and so the among the bowlers who have taken 250 plus wickets. So Cummins averages 24, and the only person currently active who is averaging less than Cummins is Rabada.
Wow.
He is the one who has had the misfortune that South Africa plays only 2 or 3 tests in a series. If he would have got a team like Australia or England who played
Hmm.
5 test matches, I am sure he would have been around 400 to
Both
500 wickets. But
easily.
unfortunately, he is near to 300 wickets only. At least he would have matched Mitchell Stark,
Yeah,
who's having one of the worst averages and still taken 400
yeah.
wickets.
I think
So,
Bumrah will be able to beat Rabada's average once he reaches 250. Right? He's close to 20. I've heard 20 or 21.
yeah, again, but that depends how fit Bumrah is because with his
Yeah,
action, it's always going to be a challenge. Because Rabada's action and Cummins' action both are very smooth actions, so they will have the longevity in their career.
no, yeah,
Let's
you're
see.
right. Like South African pacers don't need
Mm,
any much help, but Broad will give them some context, especially
mm,
about like different bowling ends
mm,
and Lords. Also, Shikhar, it's known,
mm.
right? Like it has a little bit of a slope, so how that
Yeah.
affects your bowling. So he can. That will be interesting.
Actually, Lords is perfect for bowlers like Scott Boland and also for
Yeah,
Dane Patterson. I think this little movement that you get from that slope, that kind of helps the slow bowlers who are we see Chris Wokes always delivering in Lords. He's a Lords specialist. People call
yeah,
him Lords specialist. Similar pitches in MCG where Scott Boland is actually the specialist. He's called the MCG specialist. So I think Dane Patterson will have a big role to play here, and
definitely.
I'm surprised actually if you see the squad, Pratik.
Yeah,
If you can put it on slideshow. So
yeah. Can you see
one
my
thing that
screen? I just.
yes,
Oh.
I can see it. So one
So
thing that I noticed is both teams actually picked two or three spinners for this.
yeah, yeah,
Like I was surprised why they did it, but obviously only Keshav Maharaj will play. Although they have Senuran Muthuswamy in the backup, and
correct.
Australia also picked Matthew Kuhneman.
Yeah,
And And actually, South Africa 11, you are expecting this is quite simple, I guess. Markram, Rickleton, Bavuma, Stubbs,
There is one name that
Bedingham.
I skipped, Shikhar, in the top order. It's Tony De Zorzi. But I feel other
Hmm.
people have done more than Tony De Zorzi in the recent past, so I have skipped him. And
Hmm.
definitely Vian Mulder will play, I feel, even though Janssen is there. So again, there is race between three
Hmm.
all-rounders: Corbin, Bosch, Mulder,
Hmm.
and Janssen. So I'm expecting two will play. So Corbin, Bosch
Hmm.
might miss out. But also
Yeah,
another interesting thing is in
actually.
that practice match, Vian Mulder was sent as number three. How bizarre is that? So that means they definitely
Hmm.
play him if they want to experiment around with him.
Actually, he was brilliant in Bangladesh, but
Yeah.
we have to see against good teams how good he will be.
It just
He has
saddens
been
me, Shikhar,
also.
like India doesn't have a proper all-rounder who wants to play Test cricket. And look at South Africa; they have Mulder, Janssen,
Hmm.
then Corbin, Bosch, and then there are more all-rounders like that. The Pretorius. South Africa is gifted always since the internet, like since the beginning. But
I think this move is also a lot due to Jansen's recent failures as a batter because
hmm,
they obviously expected him to do a lot better as a test
yeah,
batter. But he's been failing a lot. So I think that's why they are backing Mulder maybe. But I would actually want to see a fast bowling option. Uh, would have been better in my what I feel. But I think the major confusion with is the major contention is with the Australian team more than South African team because every ex-Australian cricketer is predicting the Australian team differently. If you see someone is opening with Cameron Green, someone is opening with so yeah, this 11 that you have. Actually, Ricky Ponting has predicted that Bo Webster will be in the team, but you don't have him in the 11.
because I
So
thought
they
Cameron Green is there. Like they wanted to invest so much in him, right?
yeah,
That's why.
so they also want to play with two all-rounders. So this is going to be similar that Mulder and Jansen play and Cameron Green and Bo Webster also play. The reason for that is they are thinking that Sam Constas is still lacking that big match experience was in England. He has not played much in England, and he's they don't want him to put him in such a big match. So you may see Sam Constas actually not playing, and you may see Cameron Green opening the batting.
Okay,
If Cameron Green opens with Khwaja, so
yeah.
that will make space for Bo
Bo
Webster
Webster. That's actually
to
very interesting, and I
bowl.
love it. Yeah, because yeah, if
Hmm.
this track suits fast bowlers, you want to give rest to your prime bowlers. Also in the middle, you need a very good bowler.
Hmm.
So yeah, Cameron Green with the
Hmm.
bowling we have seen, he's not that impressive as Bo Webster. So that's interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Another thing is, Shikhar, there is one more chance for this guy. Bedingham also. Bedingham, I don't think Shikhar is like been that
Hmm.
consistent. So what do you think? Corbin Bosch can also come in in place of Bedingham?
Yeah, I would have liked to see the squad, Pratik, but I think Bedingham will play because they are backing him. They have been backing him.
Okay.
But I don't think Corbin Bosch is going. He has the batting caliber because then
Hmm.
you're loading your team with too many bowling all rounders because all of them are pure bowling all rounders. Even
Yeah.
Mulder with his good batting, I can call them. He's the best batting all rounder in that team.
Yeah.
But you need some batting depth, which I feel is lacking because obviously Rabada is a good batter, but after that you may be ending with Patterson, Maharaj. On the
And will
other
you go
hand,
with
you have
Ngidi or Patterson? I was actually not sure which one they'll go with.
I think in these conditions they should definitely go with Patterson. If it was Australia, if the venue was Australia, they could have gone with Ngidi
Yeah.
because he has that bounce and pace. But in these conditions where the ball will move and move around a little bit, they should go with Patterson. He's the ideal bowler. But again, you don't know. South African selection has always been confusing. So they will definitely get confused here also. So they'll get confused in Mulder, picking Mulder, Jansen. They'll
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
confused a lot in all these matters. I think only Kyle Vereen is sure to play. Markram is sure to play. Bavuma is. And Bavuma also, you don't know what happens to him. Last minute, he can get injured or some freak
Oh, he
injury
gets injured a lot.
happen.
Yeah.
He's had a long history of missing some key games because of injury. So again, we don't know what happens there also.
Shikhar, if you're saying
So
Sam Constance is not going to play and Cameron Green, if he's not planning to bowl, why not Inglis? Why not open with Josh Inglis, man? He is such a clutch player. He's also in the squad.
yeah, man. I mean, I would love to play English, but I think the caliber of Cameron Green as a batter is also a big thing. See, Cameron Green is not just a good bowler, but he's a fantastic batsman. If you
Yeah.
see what happened in the New Zealand Test series, they were touring away. It was a big Test series in New Zealand, and he scored a century in the first Test
Hmm.
and killed the Kiwi hopes. And they maintained the record of never losing in New Zealand. So I think it's critical that Cameron Green plays whatever it may be. I think he should be playing definitely.
Yeah,
So
his
I think
test average
Sam
is 36,
Constas
which is
will
a
be a
pretty
bit
good batting
unlucky.
average. Yeah.
Sam Constas will be a bit unlucky, but you never know the Australian mentality. They
Yeah.
may think that we can just destroy South Africa with the new ball. We'll just send Sam Constas to go and play baseball. And, what he did versus Bumrah basically in the MCG test. So you never know the Australians can actually go for that attacking instinct. But on a cricketer to cricketer level, I think Cameron Green is better batsman than Sam Constas.
Yeah. And Shikhar, I feel South the Australian top order will be even under more pressure than even South Africa because you look at the numbers of Khwaja and Labuschagne, the way they struggled against the early ball versus Bumrah, right? I think
Today I was
Rabada can.
actually
Yeah.
Today I was talking to my brother Akash. Bhai. He had just come for lunch, and he was telling one very funny thing about this WTC. He was telling if Travis Head gets out on zero, then I will abuse him like anything because he always kills India. I mean, he always does this versus India. How he played the last WTC final,
Mm.
and if he doesn't click against South Africa, I think many Indians will be
Yeah.
wanting to
I remember India was in a
basically.
dominant position and his 169 came out of nowhere and he absolutely killed the
Hmm.
match.
Hmm.
Uh,
But if you compare the batting unit of uh, South Africa and Australia, even the bowling unit of South Africa, like there is, this is a gross mismatch, Pratik. If you see the likes of Steve Smith, Travis Head, uh,
And Steve Smith
Khwaja,
already said in
I
the
mean,
like you were talking about that practice session, right? He's already saying like he loves playing at Lords. He's looking forward to playing. He has a double hundred there, and even in the last time they played there in 2023, he scored a
mm,
century. Also, Australia hasn't lost a match
mm.
in Lords since 2013. So
They love Lords. They absolutely they treat it as their home ground. They treat it as their home ground. I am telling you, they even in Ashes,
they might be
they
having
want
better
to make.
record here versus MCG. Like,
Yeah, I mean they love Lords. They actually since the time of Glenn McGrath itself, he used to
mm,
love bowling at Lords.
yeah.
So I mean, yeah, man. And South Africa also did well in Lords whenever they have played here. I think they won a series. They equalized a series in 2012 when they stayed number one.
But that time
Uh,
they had the best five players in their lineup:
they had
ABD,
they had
Graham Smith.
Vernon Philander. They had Vernon Philander was the perfect bowler for Lords kind of
Oh man, if he
conditions.
was playing here, seriously, we would have backed South Africa with that one guy.
Yeah, Stain, Philander, Merkel, that was an amazing bowling combination. And if you see the current Australian bowling combination, it's a bit like that. Hazelwood, Cummins, Stark. It's going to be very, very difficult. I just wish somehow if they can play Boland also, just sneak
Yeah,
Boland.
it's so
But
unfair
obviously
because
they
I
can.
was reading this like in that practice session, Boland bowled for hours and hours. He's such a good servant for the country, man. He just doesn't get enough chances. He's actually
I
like
wish they
Stuart
can
McGill,
drop.
just born in the wrong era, basically. Wrong. Yeah.
I'm a big supporter of Marnus Labuschagne, but I wish they drop him and just
Played an extra bowler.
play extra
But,
bowler
but since it's
because
June and also
he's been
both teams have very
struggling.
good bowling, I'm expecting it will be a 3 day match, Shikhar. Like it has to be right. Batting will
Yeah,
struggle.
I mean, 3-day match normally means that one team, yeah, will win it easily. So I want it to go till the weekend at least because the match is, I think,
Exactly. Starting
starting
on
on Wednesday.
Wednesday, like day four and day five were perfectly placed Saturday, Sunday, but it won't go till day four or day five. I'm having that feeling.
We have to wish that there is some rain on first day,
Exactly, like
so
that
then only.
India New Zealand test, which went on for 6 days, but the game play was actually only 2.5 days. It can
Yeah,
happen in
yeah,
June
yeah.
in England for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, man, this is a big game, and if Australia wins this, I mean, their legacy will be uh, hugely secured because
Hmm.
this is a title that Virat Kohli has not won, Rohit Sharma has not won, and if you win it two times, and obviously most of them have won the ODI World Cup also twice. Uh, like Stark has won it twice. You have I think Cummins also has won it twice. So you have most of these players who have won it twice. Nathan Lyon, Test specialist, if he wins it twice, but
Yeah.
Ravichandran Ashwin has not won it. So that will also create a legacy that he's
Hmm.
probably better than Ashwin. So I mean Nathan Lyon, we have to see what they will definitely pick him. He has got 551 wickets, but again, I wish they pick Boland.
This looks all the
I wish
signs for
they
an
don't.
Australian party checker, especially their exit in the Champions Trophy. They could not make the finals. I think they will be raring to go and
Hmm.
get the throne again. But yeah, it will be interesting. Also, what will be the strategy if teams win the toss? Will they go there bravely to bat, or will they be like, okay, no, let's get the other team all out quickly? And what will be the
Since it's Lords, so I think there can be a chance of someone choosing the toss and bowling first. It can
mm,
happen. If it's a rainy day in Lords,
mm,
they may actually think if it's a damp pitch, they may think of bowling first also. It can happen, but it can backfire also. Knowing Australia, they always stand by their strength, which is batting first
yeah,
and bringing Nathan Lyon into play on day 4 or day 5. So, knowing Australia, I think they will definitely bat first. But South Africa can actually make a mistake thinking that, we will bowl out Australia for 100 on day 1. And
mm,
they've made this mistake versus India also in the recent series where they actually got bowled out for 48 or 55 something
yeah,
in Cape Town. So, South Africa leadership is bit inexperienced, shaky. They can make
mm,
some decisions which are not up to their strength. But I will back Australia. I think they have Daniel Vittori, Andrew McDonald, very cool heads
yeah.
who can take very, very, very good
Especially how they
decisions.
bounce back in that series against India too after losing at Perth. Yeah, they definitely know how to come out of tricky situations better than South Africa.
Yeah, I mean they are an amazing team. It actually needed a very special performance from Stuart Broad and Chris Wokes in
Mm.
that series versus England to actually, and some other factors were also
Leveling it.
involved, which I don't want to talk about. But yeah, man, uh, Australia looks good for this, and we have to only see now who will be the players of the match or who will be the main contributors.
Mm.
Definitely, I am banking on Rabada and Patterson to give some fight. The only thing now, the problem is Australia is they collapse regularly in Test cricket. So we have seen some collapses from Australia. So if Rabada Patterson can fire on day 1, they will also they can also collapse, and South Africa should wait for their opportunity. And Tony DeZorzi is actually a very good option, Pratik. I don't know why they've
Maybe he
chosen him.
can be picked over Bedingham then.
Yeah, I would actually like to see him over Bellingham. I would
Actually, if
love
it
to
was
see
up
him.
on your hands, you would actually drop Markram, the so celebrated Markram. You will actually drop him over Tony DeZorzi.
But I think Markram will be there. He is one of the
Oh,
senior
for
players.
sure.
So they
Vice
they
captain.
they want some experience in this team because Temba and Markram are
The one.
probably
Yeah.
and Rabada are the three only experienced players. Everyone else has played Test cricket for the first time in this cycle. So I think they'll back Markram. But yeah, I like to see Tony DeZorzi because I think his 100 in Bangladesh was very
Hmm.
exciting. After that, he also scored 100, I think, versus Pakistan. I'm not sure.
He failed in the
But
Sri
he.
Lanka series. I think that's where he's now
Mm,
not getting. Yeah, but again, it's a hard thing to be an opener in South Africa. Dean Elgar has already talked so much about it.
mm,
So yeah, unfortunately, Tony D Zorzi in difficult role.
yeah.
But Shikhar,
I
my pick will be actually Tristan Stubbs because I am seeing this guy has such good game. He can actually take on the Australian bowler. Say if South Africa has a
Mm.
shaky start, 44-4, this guy can come and counter attack. So, and also he's a very good team man. Like I saw him in DC change room, like he was banging his head, banging his bat when like one of the games they could not finish. So he's like such a team person, and I feel like he has that game. Like he can do the holding role and he can play his shots. So I'll pick Christian Stubbs and I'll pick Vian Mulder for his all-rounder ability. Also, he's like someone like Australia might see, okay, let's see his overs, but he can actually pick wicket because he swings the ball well. So those two are my picks from South Africa.
Crystal Stubbs is amazing, man. I love his attitude. Even in that World T20 final, the way he came and he counter-attacked the spinners
Hmm.
uh, and gave South Africa that momentum for the chase. He was brilliant.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, South Africa could not win this, but this time he has just broken the doors of Test cricket through his runs in international. He was considered a T20 player.
Young
He
boy
has
playing three
broken
formats,
that
yeah.
door,
Hmm.
and yeah, man, he looks like a very, very good talent. And there is one more factor, Pratik. I was just reading this cricket article. There is expected to be a larger support for South Africa at Lords
Wow.
because of lot of South African expats living in London.
So
Then
many
there
of
is
them
going
play
to be
county cricket
Australia.
also, like so many cricketers from South Africa, yeah.
Yeah, so many of them actually moved to England and play
Hmm.
for England. And also, AB de Villiers and a lot of these guys have already told that we will travel
Hmm.
to see South Africa at Lords. We want
And
to see that.
lately,
Dale
AB de
Steyn has
Villiers'
also,
presence is being lucky for the team he supports.
yeah, I think Dale Steyn also told that I am looking forward to it.
I'm also
So
looking forward to good commentary, man, because ICC finals we have usually have good panel. I'm sure Dale Steyn will be there, and Australia has so many great commentators to talk about.
yeah.
So
So if these two players come, Dale Steyn and AB de Villiers, I think it will also
motivate,
boost the morale of. Although Ricky Ponting and all these guys will be also there from Australia side,
yeah,
Matthew Eden and Ricky Ponting. But yeah, let's see. Let's hope for an upset here.
yeah.
Uh, but but obviously, as an Australian fan, I also think Australia, if they win, they'll totally
I'm backing
deserve it.
Travis
But
Head. I know he's just acting all the IPL with his bad form. There's just an acting before the major performance here.
somehow I don't feel like Travis Head is going to succeed. I think Cameron Green and if Bo Webster plays and their lower order batting will be
Hazelwood
so
definitely in
so
the
good.
bowling. I'll pick Hazelwood.
Their
He's
their
very,
lower order batting is amazing. Even
he,
if all
yeah,
with all these collapses, I think their lower order batting of Cummins, Hazelwood,
Stark.
Stark,
Even
Stark
Lion, he
especially.
fights. He fights
Yeah,
with the bat in hand.
they are so good batting with that lower order. So I think that will be crucial because we have seen some fights from Rabada, but he won that test match versus Pakistan.
Hmm.
But you don't know Kyle Verreynne, and still Kyle Verreynne had a tremendous season, but somehow,
I mean,
uh,
these two teams match so
yeah,
well because even Kyle Verreynne and Alex Carey both are such good keepers. Like they have played
hmm,
crucial knocks in times, difficult times.
yeah.
Very good match actually.
Brilliant, brilliant. That is going to be another battle to see Kyle
Yeah,
Verreynne
I
versus.
hope batters play it out, man. It has to go to day 4 and day 5 so that spinners can also come into play. So ideally, hopefully,
Mhm.
at least Saturday till Saturday the game has to go with day 4.
Yeah. Let's see if Keshav Maharaj can have an impact if the ball turns,
Hmm.
or it's going to be Nathan
And we'll be
Lyon. So
watching
that's
it
another.
very carefully because we will get an idea of how India will get tracks in England when they come after. So in just 2 weeks, India is going to start their series as well. So with this match, we'll
Mhm.
get some idea on how that series will play out, like
Mhm.
how the tracks will be. All
Yeah,
right,
let's see. Let's hope for the best.
all right. Thanks, Shikhar, for joining.
Thank you.